running away, they running away. They was already in them. How can I take the demons inside? The demons inside, affecting the weakness. So what can
I
I
used to
hide?
be a
Cause
demon.
them ones are screaming no mercy to
And
feeling. I'm
a
willing
lot
to
of
kill them. With
people,
demons I
they
chillin'.
look
How
at me
can I
crazy when
tonight?
I
Cause
say
they
that. They're
skeezing
like,
my
what do you
mind, so I
mean you
cry.
used to be a
Despise all
demon?
opponents that
Like,
try. What do you
how
do?
does
Bring
that
back stories
happen?
like I don't care
And
about
you know what I
nothing.
learned is
Ain't no
that we
time
are
for no
not
dance.
demons,
Stop
we
watching,
have
just watching
demons,
no
you know.
watching no
But at the
watching. I'm
time of my
starting them
life,
off. It's just a
all I
telephone
knew was
watching this.
negative
When
and
I turn
evil,
or
you
when I
know.
diss, evil
So
mistress on a trick.
I
Pocket
felt
tears,
like I
that is
had to
my nick.
claim
Trouble
to
soul that
be
no one
evil,
knows that's
you know,
capable.
because that's all I knew. That was
Control that
just what I
very
was born
mind. Let's
into.
slow the
So
time to the tricky
I always
side.
felt
Let's
like
blow
this.
your mind.
There
Let
must
it
be a
rain,
reason
no
why I
more
was born into
division.
all this
How you
pain
feel when no
and
one
just
listens? Watch it
trauma, you know.
glisten when you tear.
So I figured, you know, there is no God where I was, or at least we weren't. I wasn't born with the eyes to see God's blessings. You know, I wasn't taught how to realize what He does for us. You know, so it's like I could dig up, you know, writings and poetry of how evil I used to be. If you listen to my old music, I was fucking horribly evil. You know, I didn't care. I was immoral. I didn't show any love towards anybody. I didn't feel sympathy towards anybody. You know, I feel like everybody deserves pain. You know, I feel like it's everybody's fault, you know, for not giving a fuck about each other. I learned recently, like, there is no darkness, there's just an absence of light. Which is funny because, you know, I was mad at people for not doing what they were supposed to in life. You know, that's why I was so mad. That's why, you know, I said people don't matter, you know, like people I don't give a fuck about people, people don't give a fuck about me. Even anger and pain still stems from goodness, and I never understood that, you know. So I always thought that I was evil and I was mean, and I always felt like I was the fucking Grim Reaper, like it was my job to bring people's karma around, you know, like. And you know what? It's not. It's just because I had a lot of anger towards what I was supposed to. Like, I didn't know I was angry. I was angry because I couldn't conquer life. I couldn't conquer my own emotions. I couldn't conquer my own thoughts. I just didn't know my purpose, you know, and I gave myself a false purpose. And, you know, I had to go through a long way the wrong way to realize that I was in the wrong, you know. And being evil and being bad isn't fulfilling, you know. I mean, it could be temporarily satisfying, but fulfilling, nah. Like, in the long run, you're empty and you're lonely and you're angry and you're regretful and you're guilty, and you just try to hide it with even more evil stuff because you claim to be evil. So you're like, this is what I need to do. So you try to justify all your fucked up actions in any type of way possible, you know. And then you want to point the finger at other people and blame other people, like, this is your fault I'm like this. You know, you never helped me. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You didn't do this. You know, and it's very, very sad, you know, that people cannot take responsibility for their own fucked up mistakes. But it's not because we didn't choose it, you know. It's all the trauma that happened to us that changed us. You see people who are stuck in their traumas over and over, and they just go back to what hurt them, and they want an apology, and they want closure. And I understand it, but rarely are you gonna get closure in this life. In this lifetime, there's not gonna be. People are too preoccupied running from their own demons and running from their own misconceptions and running from their own, you know, regrets, that they're not going to stop to say sorry, because that means they're going to have to stop and second guess who they are and what they believe in. And, you know, nobody's going to do that. You know, when they're stuck in their ways, people are stuck in their ways, you know. It takes this really special person to be able to adapt and be able to change and to be able to break out of that mentality and be awoken to another level of enlightenment and peace within yourself. But it's just that transition from the bad to the good is very painful and it's worth it. Don't get me wrong, it's worth it. If you go down that journey and you want to let go of all the pain in your heart so you could have peace, it's going to be a long journey. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not easy at all. I relapsed plenty of times. I became a drug addict plenty of times, trying to get away from all of the new realizations I was getting in my mind and in my head and in my heart. I was just realizing, like, damn, I fucked up a lot. I fucked up a lot not knowing where to go and what to do. Like, I hurt people and I hurt myself and I made a lot of mistakes. And I was just like, fuck, how will I ever be forgiven? Who will forgive me? You know? And then, you know, I don't know, I just started getting into my research and learning about spirituality and the law of attraction and just forgiveness and I guess God and just and just learning about us as a human being, our chakras and aligning ourselves and just letting go of anger and how just these emotions that we keep in, they end up hurting us in the end. They end up raping us of happiness. So I mean, it comes down to it, like, people have controlled you your whole life without you knowing, or you hurting, and you couldn't do anything about it. And now that you're an adult, who is stopping you but your own mind that is still stuck in the past? Like, you are no longer getting controlled by those demons that have hurt you. Now you're letting those demons become your demons, and now you're telling yourself these things that they used to tell you when they're not even there anymore. Like, they're words. So that's how I started learning about words and expression and realizing words have so much power. And when I had gotten kidnapped when I was younger, he did things to me that were not as bad as the words that he said to me. The words that he said to me are what really fucked up my head, and I realized that words are just way more powerful than anything physical, so you could get into wars and wars and wars, but if you want to stop if you want to end wars, you need to communicate and start talking and really relating to one another and making compromise. But these people who control us in our country, they just are in it for money. Everything that has happened because of them, we are the ones who face the repercussions and the actual traumas that come along to us. They want more money, they overwork our parents neglect us. Once they come home, we're not able to communicate with them because they're too tired, so we get angry, we get mad, we get bored, we get mischievous, we get, it's all a chain of and it's natural, and it should be common sense as a human being how negativity is going to affect us psychologically. I mean, I just bought a puppy, and these motherfuckers go into like the whole psychological aspect of puppies, and if you do this is how they're gonna react, and if you don't do this and this, they're gonna react like this. Why is that not something that's taught to our children in school? Like, I mean, it's all like lessons like keep your hands to yourself and all that stuff, but there's no actual psychological, emotional, like meaningful principles, integrity, morals. You don't teach that in school. That's something we gotta learn. We gotta teach our kids from the jump in our families. And if our families are fucked up, then what type of future do these kids have? If schools are only escape and they're not giving them that, so it all comes to us. It takes a village to raise a child, so I believe that if we can heal ourselves now and let go of our issues for our children, then they're the people who can grow up, not say untraumatized, because everybody goes through issues, but I'm saying just more aware. They don't have to make the same mistakes we did, that their mind should be on a whole other level, is what I mean. Like, for our children, they don't have to grow up feeling that they have to be demons and they have to conquer the worst of the worst in this world, and be like that to win in this world. Those people don't win. The demons don't win. It may look like they win. They may have all the chains and they have all the money and they have all of this, but that's because they fucking cheated and they lied and they got, some of them actually got hurt, and they just speak about it, and then people and life bless them. So this is what I mean. It's either two ways you're gonna go down. You're either gonna express your traumas and you're gonna succeed, or you're gonna build them all up and you're gonna fail. Who just build it all inside and just keep it all in, those are the people who fail. Those are the people who end up being liars and cheaters and have no principles and have no morals, and end up hurting the people that love them the most. So holding it in may seem momentarily like a good thing, but in the long run, you don't want to be the person on your deathbed asking your children to bring everybody to your deathbed to apologize for all the fucked up things that you have done. We always know what we're supposed to do. Deep down in our hearts, there's always telling us there's something wrong. You know, like there's something wrong with what we're doing. Oh, like you have to realize this. We're in hell. This is God's little, like, this is where he bans people, you know, like that didn't believe him, you know. So you have to prove to him that you are worthy of his saving, you know, like. And I didn't think I was worthy of my saving until I was saved. And that was because deep down in my heart, I knew I was doing something wrong. And God knows when things go wrong because he watches us, you know. He's our protector. He's the one that wakes us up every day and keeps us breathing, whether we want it or not, you know. Like, he watches all the bad things that happen. He knows why you are the fucked up person that you are. And he knows why you need sympathy. And he knows why you need forgiveness. And he knows the moment that you changed. He knows the moment that you got more corrupted. He knows the moment, and he feels sympathy, you know. He feels forgiveness because, you know, he knows where you were born into. He knows that you were born in the devil's playground, you know. So he knows that there's going to be some misconceptions that you're going to grab along the way, you know. So it's up to us to really acknowledge them, you know, realize that it wasn't our fault. We do deserve forgiveness, you know. And once you feel him save you, it's not going to be such a prideful thing to actually get down on your knees and thank him, because people are like, oh, I'm not gonna do, who did that, who, you know, I'm the one who woke, I'm the one. You don't know where you go when you sleep. Basically, you don't know. You don't wake yourself up. God wakes you up, you know. Like, you think your alarm clock wakes you up? No, there's some people who the alarm clock don't ever wake them up. They don't ever wake up. My grandmother just passed away in her sleep. Some people don't ever wake up, you know. So you have to be blessed. You have to count your blessings every single day, or you will become a demon. And I'm gonna let you know that, because if you do not control your mind, trust me, somebody else will.